Welcome back, everybody. As you probably guessed from the title, today we are going over the Primary Arms MD25 with ACSS Reticle. It is their newest red dot offering, at least as of when I'm recording this video right now anyway. I have two of them here in my hands. This one here was actually a prototype that I've had for probably almost a year now at this point, and literally have shot thousands of rounds through different rifles and pistols, pistol carbines that is, with this mounted on there. Ton of experience with it. And then this here just arrived, and this is the exact same optic, but the production version. And one thing that I've been waiting for to do the review is for them to be for sale. And as of right now, they are for sale. So that's why we're giving you the review. I don't like reviewing stuff that's not out yet because then people can't get it and they get all mad. So there is that. So as of right now, as of when I'm filming this, again, they are in stock. There will be a link in the video description. Side note, that link should get you an extra mount option as well, but that depends on stock. But what is it? What makes it unique, etc. So cool thing about this is that it has a 25mm objective, which is larger than like your aimpoint microdots, for example, which are 20mm typically. 25mm, very similar to what you're going to see if you're looking through an MRO. Now, some folks really like that because they shoot with one eye closed, and that gives them a larger field of view. That said, if you shoot with both eyes open, your field of view is the same regardless, but there are a lot of people that definitely close one eye, so for them, that is an advantage to it. Turrets are capped, which is nice, of course. Each click is a half MOA in terms of adjustment. The actual battery life on the ACSS version is going to be 12,000 hours, and then they also make a version with just a single dot in there, and that one has a 50,000 hour battery life on it. But battery, it has night vision settings, 2 settings for that, and then it goes up to 11 for the daylight bright versions, and it is plenty bright. For sure. I've shot in, again, varying lighting conditions with it and never had an issue not being able to pick everything up, including the small dots that we'll get into here in just a second. I don't know how loud those geese are but on camera, but they're loud in person. And another pro of the optic is the actual mounting system itself. The system itself is adjustable, and you can set it up for low, medium, high. The numbers should be coming in here on your screen, and it's compatible with any of the aimpoint micro bases out there on the market. So whether it's a Geissele or Aero Precision, Midwest Industries, whatever the case may be, if you're looking for an aftermarket mount, just get the one that works with aimpoint micro bases, and it will work with this. Additionally, just a little small thing, it does have a thread protector with the screws, so thread locker, excuse me, with the screws, which is always a nice bonus. You don't have to add it yourself. It does come with it. It's powered by a CR2032 battery, which is super common, of course. That's a good thing. And then, of course, the thing that's going to differentiate it amongst competitive offerings out there, along with price point, is going to be the ACSS Reticle. So let's kind of get into it and show how it works with different calibers and other features that it has, which may be an advantage for you depending on how you're going to use it versus just a traditional dot optic. The first thing you notice when you look through this optic is going to be the outer ring for sure. It's comparable to, say, like the EOTech Donut of Death. It really does get you on target quickly, and for, you know, CQB rather type distances, basically put it within the center of the circle and you will be getting hits. Inside the circle, of course, is the chevron and then your BDC holdovers, which we'll get into here in just a second. But one nice thing about having a chevron versus a dot or something like that is that it has an infinite aiming point, so you can really dial in your zero very precisely. So I do dig that. The BDC obviously is optimized, designed, etc. for 5.56, 223, but it's also compatible with a ton of other calibers out there. So with your basic M193 or M855, you're going to zero it at 100 yards. And then after that, the middle of the chevron on the underside is going to be your 200-yard holdover point, and then the outside edge of the chevron is 300. The first dot on the way down is going to be 400, then the next one is 500, the next one is 600. And then, of course, you can also see different calibers, for example, we'll just take 300 blackout 7.62 by 3.9, which is what I shot a ton of rounds through one of these with. Again, you're going to 0 out of 100. Inner holdovers change as you go down, and I've actually shot this and got consistent hits out to 400 yards with 7.62 by 3.9, so I can attest that BDC is actually on. It goes all the way down from stuff that has 12 gauge for slugs, 22 LR, 9mm, etc. Also has your SBRs or your AR pistol in 5.56, ability to zero it there. And it also has some auto ranging capabilities that the ACSS system is known for. Basically, the outer edge there of your chevron is going to be 18 inches at 300 yards. So if you have a bad guy out there at distance and you line that up, and basically his shoulders, the outside of his shoulders, comes in right at the outside edge of the chevron, he is 300 yards away. If it comes in at the inside of the chevron, that is 400 yards away. And for folks that don't know, that is a military standard for ranging human beings. Additionally, the standard of 510 is also a standard military ranging estimate. And you can see here, you can also use the vertical ranging capabilities with that dot on the bottom. Basically, you just put their feet where that dot is. And then if they're 600 yards away, it comes up to the bottom of the chevron, and then edge rather. And then if they're 500, it's the bottom of the chevron underside of the tip. And 400 yards, they're just a little bit above it. And it also has the ability to use wind holds. So basically out to 300 yards, you kind of just got to hold on your own. But at 400 yards, the inside edge of the chevron is a 5-mile-an-hour wind. The middle portion of the chevron is a 5-mile-an-hour wind hold at 500 yards. And then the outside edge is a 5-mile-an-hour wind hold at 600 yards. Hopefully that breakdown of the reticle helped you guys understand some of the capabilities that you get with this versus a traditional red dot, and it's not insignificant in my opinion. Again, like I was saying, I shot it with the 7.62 by 3.9 out to 400 yards. That BDC was key. If I didn't have that, there's no way I would have been able to get consistent hits, especially first shot hits, because you're holding over in space, you know, you're holding in the tree line and stuff like that without it. So it definitely is an advantage. Now, that said, I have pretty good eyesight. I don't have a noticeable astigmatism. So if you do your results in terms of what you can actually get and see with the reticle, maybe a little bit different than mine. That said, this thing paired with a good 3x magnifier, like I use the EOTech, and Primary Arms makes one as well. I don't have their newest generation, I don't think, but I use the EOTech 3x with it, and it really does bring a new capability that you simply don't have with your standard red dot out there. And a lot of people ask me, like, hey, what should I use for an optic for an all-around gun? And I always ask, my first question back is, will it be used for home defense or self-defense? And they say, yeah. Okay, well then, in my opinion, the answer is some sort of a red dot that can be left on. So the 12,000 hour battery life, you can leave it on and just change it, you know, if depending on how conservative you want to be with it, every 6 months or something like that. You don't even have to do that though. 12,000 hours rather is longer than that if you guys can do the math. But anyway, so something like this, and then you add a three power magnifier behind it when you want to go hunting, let's say, it definitely is a much more powerful system in terms of what you can achieve as the shooter than you would ever get with a red dot. So if you have a gun that you want to use for like a dual rifle, this is an optic I'd look at for sure. I've had zero issues with either of them, both the prototype and the production model. We've shot them both and had no issues with anything, fogging, nothing like that. One thing I didn't point out that I should have is that it is threaded for an ARD or an anti-reflection device. So if you want to use one on there, you can do so. And you can also mount the mounts either way. I don't know if some of you guys who are eagle-eyed probably already spotted that, but any of the aim-point micros work like that. But since this one has a little bit of an offset to it, it looks different when you see them together. But there is that. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about it or anything like that, you can post down below in the comments section as always. You can also post those questions here on my different social media sites. If you guys aren't following me on Parler and Telegram, they're really good. Everybody who follows me there actually sees my posts, which is not the case, of course, with all the other social media giants out there. Speaking of not seeing my posts, if you're not subscribed here on YouTube, I recommend you do so. But even if you are subscribed, you may not be seeing my videos as well, just due to the way their algorithm works. And so the way I've come up with to combat that is that I have an email, which basically goes out once or twice a month. And it has all of the videos since the last email went out. So that way, There's no social media giants censoring your eyes from my content, so you guys can actually see it. And you can sign up for that down below in the video description. You can also sign up for my daily deals email, and that one goes out roughly daily, as the name indicates. Sometimes I miss a day, but pretty much every day it goes out. And if this thing goes on sale or something like that, we'll throw it in there, as well as the other deals that we find along the way. Because again, when I post them up elsewhere, sometimes you don't see them, but Telegram and Parler are pretty good about it if you follow me there. So there is that. Our content is also over on the Warrior Poet Society network now. My content there is completely free, which I like because it gives me some sort of diversification from, again, gigantic social media giants. But they also have premium content over there, which is legitimately TV quality production. Really, really good stuff over there. And there's a 10% discount code in the video description if you guys are looking to sign up there. And I think that's it. That's the end of my rant. That's the end of my spiel. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.